Alright, welcome back to Tin Soldiers 4. This game will feature the Battle for the Pass scenario, and it's my Chaos against Daryl's Dwarves. You would think that this scenario really favours Daryl because he can just camp back and I have to take a long time to get to him. So yes, it kind of does. Just a few pointers though. Again, this whole tournament is centered around big beasts, and he's taken dwarves which can't have a big beast. One of the artificial rules imposed on players is that you can't duplicate war machines, and I think there's an upper limit on number of war machines as well. So he's got a organ gun and a single cannon. They don't have a lot of runes on them, so you wouldn't expect as much as you normally would. He's got 20 quarrelers, he's got the anvil, and generally Daryl's strategy in this particular game, I feel as though he didn't really choose the right strategic approach. What he's done, as you can see from the photo, is he's deployed roughly 20-24 inches up from his back line, where he could have easily deployed right on his back line. I'm not too sure why he did that. I think he wanted to get some opportunities to, get some good combats on me and just have some maneuvering room. But really, if he deployed right in the corner, right with his back to the wall, it would have literally taken me 5 turns to actually get there and get all my units into unison to charge him properly, and then it would have basically been one round of combat for me to try and break through. But with his sort of high leadership and BSB rolls and stuff, I don't think it would have got any points. In the meantime, he can just cannon my lord until the dragon in the right is dead, getting him 730 points. Anyway, the marauders move up to the front there into the forest, just checking things out, and generally I'm just looking to carefully move in and stay out of range. Next image, you can see his Anvil of Doom. He hasn't got the Rune of Balance. That's the one where he takes one of my dice, I think, or if I've got the name right. So I'm counting my lucky stars that that's not in play. Next image, my guys get the first turn, I believe, so I'm just moving around. Actually, this is pre-first turn, though, but I'm just trying to avoid that crater there, which is actually a swamp. At the moment, it's resting on my Chosen, because I couldn't really get them on it without the models falling over. Next image, okay, first turn to the Chaos. Even though he finished deployment first, I rolled a 3, he rolled a 1. So, the fast cav have already tested out the forest, which turns out to be a blood forest or possibly a fear forest. Either way, it's not going to, venom thicket them. And they've moved straight forward into that as fast as they can. I'm keeping the cav back because the cav don't really have any role this game. There's nothing they can really do to the dwarves. There's no redirecting. He's got his miners on the board. They're not going to come from the sides. So I just want to keep them back because they can't be killed by the quarrelers or the organ gun. Otherwise, everything's moving full steam ahead. We found out that in the rulebook, the cannon that he has only got a range of 48 inches, so what I could have done legitimately is keep my Lord and the Dragon in one corner of the battlefield, not get shot, save the points, and do it that way. But I couldn't sleep at night if I'd done that, and the battle report would be very boring, so I've moved forward, and I'm going to be taking it, and he's going to be cannoning me, but I'm going to be using my spells on him. It didn't roll Gateway, though. Next image, the left-hand side, basically I've got the Mortar Cav in single-file units just so they can let the Marauders past, and the War Shrines moved up as well. So that's how that's happened. In the next image, what's happened here is I've actually cast Treason of Tzeentch on his dwarves with irresistible force. The miscast turned out to not cause any damage to me, and I've actually obliterated like 14 guys because they hit themselves on 4+. There's about 30 in the unit, and then it's 2+ to kill with their strength 6, and they've only got heavy armor. So that was a very effective spell. Next photo, the dragon has taken a hit from the cannon but has only taken 3 wounds. The boss has passed his 3+ ward save. Everything else is moving up as much as it can, and I didn't get my spell off this time. He's actually used his Spellbreaker rune the second time to destroy one of my spells, which happened to be Treason, in the second time I attempted it. Next image, my guys on the left even closer now. The Chosen have headed through the forest. That big pillar of rocks you see is actually a sinister statue which is shooting little bolts on a 50-50 chance. It shoots a d6 strength 4 at guys nearby, so that's kind of funny, but it's not having a lot of effect on the game at this point. He's used his organ gun on the War Shrine to do 2 or 3 wounds, so I've marched it backwards, although still in range of the Chosen. I have yet again rolled the 3+ ward save and stubborn on them. It's very easy to do thanks to the Wailing Banner, so that's quite fortunate as well. Next image, I've pulled back the Lord a little bit because the Dragon's down to, I think, 1 or 2 wounds left, but I've pushed everything else forward. I've kept the Knights back as well because they're not particularly effective against the Dwarves, but I've got the main units of Marauders and Chosen up front because they're the ones that are going to get the job done at the end of the day. Next image again, he's actually moved forward a little bit with his Troll Slayers and his Miners, And if I charge him, he's not going to get the rank bonus there, so I'm more likely to win combat, although I'm not going to scare their Troll Slayers away, but if the miners are in combat as well, that could make them break. I'm happy about that. You know, he'd probably be doing better to pull them back, so I have to come through the forest and lose my ranks, meaning that I'd be at a loss, really. So that would have been the better strategy on his point of view. Next image, though, he's got his dwarf clansman held behind a wall, so I'll be -1 to hit when I first charge him. And he's got his hammerers regrouped and reformed, ready to take the charge from the Chosen. Next image, the cannon has finally destroyed the dragon, but to my great fortune, I've still managed to pass the ward save on a 3+ on the Lord, so he's now on foot. He's also been using Wrath and Ruin to stop the dragon flying, but at this point, I can then march the Lord so that he's joined an infantry unit, or march him in such a way that the pillar, the sinister statue in the middle of the field, is blocking line of sight between the cannon and the Lord, preventing him from killing me. And that will also be a lot easier because the dragon's a much larger model with true line of sight. Next image, I've done exactly that, so you can see I've moved away out of the forest and the cannon is between, the pillar is between the cannon and the Lord, and I've charged his hammerers with my Chosen, I've charged his clansmen with the bus formation, Chaos Marauders as well. Next image, the combat rages, and I do tons of damage on him, he does tons of damage on me, but the combat continues. One of us passes our break test, I think it was him. As for the Chosen against the hammerers, I destroy most of them and lose very few Chosen, so that combat's likely to go around, but he's stubborn with his hammerers, so he passes his break test. Next image, he decides to charge me with his Troll Slayers and Miners, which I think's a blunder. He's giving away points there, and my guys don't have to come into the forest. I'd actually failed a frenzy check, but I'd failed my charge roll when I did it, so I didn't have to come to him. But he's decided to go for it, and because I'm in horde formation, I can pump out 20 attacks onto each unit, so 40 attacks total, 20 on the Troll Slayers, 20 on the Miners, whereas he's pumping out more like 20 attacks, again needing 4s and 2s to kill. So this combat went very well for me, just cutting down guys left and right. Next image, he has flank charged my Chosen with his Quarrelers, a bit of a desperate move. I think that's something he shouldn't have done, because the Chosen are, again, weapon skill 6, toughness 4, 4+ armor save, 3+ ward save, so he ended up giving me very little, he ended up giving himself very little combat res, but I was able to pick off all of the hammerers and kill some of the guys as well. I think his plan there was to use the Quarreler champion as well, but it didn't quite work, and I managed to kill his BSB as well. So the game basically ends with me wiping out his BSB, hammerers, eventually got the clansmen as well with my other marauders. I took out all of his Troll Slayers, and I managed to, I think, kill the miners in the end. So it was a whopping 18-2 victory. He had only killed, I think, I don't know what he killed in the end. I'm not sure if he got any points at all, except, oh, he managed to kill my Chaos Knights because I made a blunder and put them side on against the cannon at one stage later on, so he shot them and then Wrath and ruined them, so that's what denied me a flawless victory. But, yeah, very happy to take this win off Daryl in a hard scenario for me to win on. So, on to Game 3 with me on 2 solid wins. Thanks for checking it out.